Hi, I'm Annemarie with Speak Confident English, and this is Confident English Wednesday. Welcome to our newest lesson this week, where we're focused on 23 ways that you can describe people that you love in a positive way. If you've been following me for a while, you know that several weeks ago I did a lesson on how to describe your personality. And I used 3 different stories full of new vocabulary and expressions to help you begin to describe your personality, whether you need it just for fun in conversations or for a job interview, or how you could describe your best friend, your mom, your boss at work. This lesson is part 2, and we're focused specifically on more advanced expressions and vocabulary, focused on the positive, the things that we like about someone. In a few weeks, don't worry, we'll also focus on some negative aspects because that's life. There are times when we don't have a great relationship with someone or we want to comment on something that is negative. So we will do that in the future, but today let's focus on 23 new words or expressions that you can use in English to describe someone in a positive way. Now, just a quick note that you can get all 23 of these expressions, words, and a challenge question for practice in the online lesson. So I encourage you to check out that lesson as soon as you finish watching this video. And if you want subtitles, don't forget to click the little CC button just at the bottom of this video. Because I know that you are busy and have a limited amount of time in the day, in this video I've selected 9 of my favorite expressions from today's lesson, or maybe a couple that are often confusing, misused, to review with you in today's video. But again, you can get all 23 in the online lesson, and you have an opportunity to practice at the end. So one of my first favorite expressions from today's list is to describe someone as a ray of sunshine. Doesn't that sound super beautiful, to be a ray of sunshine? I would describe one of my best friends as a ray of sunshine. Imagine that moment that you first walk into the sun and it feels warm and wonderful and you're just happy. Someone that makes you feel like that is a ray of sunshine. Number 2, to be gregarious, or to have a gregarious personality. Gregarious means to be really social, to have a lot of friends, someone that is the life of a party, another great expression. If you are the life of a party, everyone wants to talk to you, or you are talking to everyone at the party. You know everyone, and you love the opportunity to speak to each person, and you're super fun. You are gregarious. Number 3, this is one of my favorites, and I try to be like this. I don't know if I always am, but to be easygoing or laid back. These 2 expressions are used to describe someone that is very relaxed and calm. They never get too stressed. They don't get really angry or upset. Everything is just okay all the time. You're easygoing or very laid back. Number 4 is another favorite, to have an old soul. If, for example, you describe your friend or your sister as someone who has an old soul, we use it to describe someone that feels that they come from another time. They're very wise, they're calm, they spend a lot of time thinking, and they always say something that is meaningful or important. They're not super talkative, they don't talk too much. They're always thoughtful, smart, calm, and wise. Number 5, do you know anyone who is affectionate, or are you affectionate? This word is used to describe someone who is very loving or warm. When you are around them, you feel very loved, maybe because of something they do or say, or maybe they love to hug you, but They are affectionate. They are loving and warm. This next one might be new for you. The word is industrious. Someone who is industrious is extremely hardworking. They are focused on their tasks at work, they do a good job, and they are diligent. Industrious. Now, number 7 might be a little tricky. In fact, I often hear many mistakes made with this word because it sounds very similar to words in other languages, which we call false friends. Words that seem like they might be the same in 2 different languages, but they actually have a different meaning. This word is sympathetic. Sympathetic. In many languages, this just means someone that is nice or friendly. But in English, we use this word to describe someone who is a good listener. They listen to other people's problems, and you'll often hear them say something like, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. It must be really hard or frustrating or upsetting or sad or stressful." But they express that they are sorry for a particular situation. They feel bad for you, and they are good at listening to you as you describe the problem or the stress that you're facing at that moment. Number 8, down to earth. Someone who is down to earth is really practical and realistic in a good way, in a positive way. They're not a dreamer, they're not a visionary. They see things in reality and they find practical solutions. And finally, the last one on our list today is to have a type A personality. This one could actually be positive or negative. It depends on how strong this personality is because there are kind of 2 sides to it. But typically, this personality means someone that is very driven, focused, ambitious. They have very high goals and they work extremely hard to achieve them. They are often very organized, focused on getting everything done on time, and they're proactive. They're always looking for solutions. Now, on the other hand, they could sometimes be competitive, maybe too competitive and too sensitive. But today we're going to focus just on those positive elements and look at this through a positive lens to see it in a positive way. So you or someone that you know might have a type A personality. You are very focused on what you want in life and you're not going to give up on it. So now you have 9 new ways to positively describe the characteristics or personality of people that you know, or even to describe yourself. Now, don't forget, there are actually 23 new expressions in today's lesson, so be sure to visit the online lesson to find out about expressions such as larger than life, to be larger than life, or to be classy or thick-skinned. There are many new expressions for you today, so go to the lesson, review the additional expressions, and then be sure to check out the challenge question that I have for you at the end so that you can immediately get practice using these new words, expressions, so that they become part of your everyday English and you can use them easily, naturally in your everyday conversations. And with that, thank you so much for joining me. I love having you here every Wednesday, and I'll see you next week for your Confident English Wednesday lesson.